So this video is going to talk a bit about connecting our supplies to our products and attributes for two important reasons. One is that having that information connected and calculating properly will give you this great little piece of information here on your resource allocation page. Your team can use this information to see, okay, this order needs this much of the alder. Now if this was a more complicated order, you'd have multiple lines here of, different supplies and different amounts needed. And then this information is also used for the system helping you control your inventory, so knowing how much is being used and pulled out of inventory to keep you up to date on when and what you need to order from your vendors. So really important, but kind of confusing. So let's go over how we do that. We're going to start at the very bottom. We start with the product attributes in this case because we're gonna talk about wood types, which are generally done as a drop-down option for your customer. So in this case, your customer can choose this one product, but any of these wood types, which are all different things in your inventory, even though they're all under your, say, your hardwood location of your inventory or supplies. These are all different wood types, which means, different cost and different things that you order from the vendor. So let's go start with the attribute by going to e-commerce product attributes. Now, I happen to know that I'm going to be looking at a door for this example, and this is the wood type that I have on that door, this particular one. So let's go look at that. Now for these select type attributes, also known as the drop-down attributes, you have this table here where you can add all your information that your customer gets to drop down and choose from. You'll also get here, you'll get this checkbox, directly associate with supplies. When you check that, what it does is it gives you two columns over here on the far right side of your table that lets you associate each of these options with an inventory item. So you can see this one's already done. We've already gone through and hit the location and the type that goes with this option, the wood type that goes with this wood type, from our supplies, our list of supplies. So we had to manually go do all that. Each of these are done. Save the changes. Now that's not the very last step because all that has done is connect a name with a name. Your system still needs to know, how do I calculate when a customer chooses, say, a 14 by 18 door, how much wood is that really using? How much am I actually pulling out of your inventory? So the last step is to go and do a simple formula in the product. And each product is built differently, right? So we're going to do this per product. You can't do it here in your attribute. You have to do it per product. So let's go to this 1-inch door. Now this 1-inch door has this attribute that I just showed you that has all those different wood types connected. Now we're also going to run under the assumption here that besides having some supplies in your inventory that you were able to choose from, you also have this product mostly built, right? You have all the attributes attached and probably some parts to work with. So we know this product is almost done. We've got all our attributes, we've built some parts. So let's go link the supplies. You'll do that in your parts by going to the parts tab here. Now let's choose panel. We've got our panel part. Open that up and we're going to scroll down. And this is not under part attributes. This is under part supply. So you'll see this panel, we've created a part supply. We've chosen to link the supply through the attribute, wood type thick doors, which is the one you just saw me connect. Now if we hadn't checked that box back on the attribute that said directly associate with supplies and connected each of those items, we wouldn't have this option. This wouldn't be available, and we'd have to connect directly through the inventory. Now the problem with that, with something like wood type, something that has the drop-down option, multiple options, is sure I can go to my hardware storage and then choose a wood type, but now that's just one wood type, and no matter what your customer picks, the supply, it's gonna think that the supply is always this alder, even when the customer has chosen a different drop-down option. Since we didn't connect through the attribute, it doesn't know that, and it thinks this door is always going to use alder. So That's why we had to do those first two steps of connecting the attribute itself. So that's what we want to choose. This is now the last step. This is telling the system how to calculate for this panel how does it know how much wood to use. So in this case it's just doing width times length times the quantity, so how many the customer ordered. This one's also incorporating a waste yield and then divide by 144. The most confusing part in this case, as a woodworker, you already know how to do calculations like this. You do them every day. Most confusing part is going to be learning how to get the variables you want and find them and get them in here in a way that makes sense to you. So that part can take a little bit of practice. If you need more guidance on things like parts, don't hesitate to ask in the forum, as well as search for more videos to help. But I think this is enough information to get you going on connecting your supplies to your parts and get you going there.